Guys, at the beginning I made a mistake. I was meant to say what if Obito took Naruto, not what if Obito adopted Naruto, part 1. Anyways, hope you all understand that I was a bit sleepy. I still am. This is still me at 1:30 a.m. Anyways, hope you all still enjoy it, and let's get into it. Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs here, and this is a revamp what if. This is a what if that I wanted to revamp a long time ago. I know I promised this one guy that I will do it. He wanted the next part so badly. Every stream he used to come, and I really miss him. I'm not sure what happened to him. Maybe he changed his name. Maybe he just stopped watching me. If he did stop watching me and he comes back one day and sees this video, hey bro, I'm sorry. I'm not sure. I cannot recall your name, but if you're a boy, if you're a girl, I'm sorry bro, or I'm sorry sis. And I hope you're well these days. Anyways, let's get right into it. This is What If Naruto Was Adopted by Obito Part 1. It's a revamp of What If Naruto Joined Akatsuki, and this time it will be very different. It will be completely different. A lot of you have been loving the What If Naruto Was Betrayed, and you loved the new character I've introduced to it, Tsuki, Sasuke's Sasuke's older sister, and Itachi's younger sister. Anyway, we get into this What If near enough the same around time. Well, let's say that there is a little bit of difference. Naruto is actually older than Tsuki. Tsuki and Sasuke are actually born a month after Naruto, so November 10th, and Naruto was born October 10th. So the attack on the village happened as per normal, but Tsuki and Sasuke weren't there. But even if they were there, they wouldn't have remembered it since they were just little babies, toddlers. Anyways, I'm just saying this is right after the stream that I did tonight, and I didn't tell you guys in stream, but I scripted this for a while now. It's been scripted for a while, and I did have to change the script a few days ago. Well, 1 or 2 days ago, because you guys loved the Tsuki character, and I loved Tsuki as well. I wish I had an artist. Well, I could ask Shokuro, my boy. To be honest, he lives literally across the road from me anyway. I could just go ask him, but I really don't want to disturb him. So if any of you guys are amazing artists, just DM me. I really want someone to draw Tsuki, because I can't really find any characters that I want her to look like. Anyway, let's stop about this. I should just make an update video for that if I have to ask for help from my fans or my friends, pretty much, because I treat everyone the same, unless people who like disrespect me or something or just piss me off. I'm sorry. Anyway, Naruto is born as per normal. The attack on the village happens as per normal. Naruto gets the 9 tails sealed inside of him. This time it's the full 9 tails, just for even more hate, which will come in real handy to continue the plot on. Sorry, I had to move a bit. To continue the plot in this What If, Naruto has the full 9 tails. It's been 4 years, and Naruto's now 4, and he was just walking around that night, and at this time it was at 9 p.m. and it was December. It was snowing. It was a snowy night, and he was just walking past a grocery shop, and 2 people walked out. It was a little girl called Suki Uchiha and her mother. I was gonna say Izumi Uchiha. I'm really sorry. I'm just really tired and my eyes are kind of hurting. I'm probably gonna go sleep after this. It was Tsuki Uchiha and Mikoto Uchiha. Tsuki was looking up and Mikoto was looking down at Tsuki, and they were smiling at each other, and then they noticed this one blonde, blue-eyed boy, which Tsuki really got attracted to because she found him cute, and she's like, wow, what a nice kid. And because Tsuki never really met Naruto, and Mikoto actually could tell who that was. He had the same look as uh, as the fourth Hokage, and she knew who Naruto was since Naruto was actually born before Tsuki. So yeah, Tsuki is a bit older than Sasuke. Just saying, Sasuke is the youngest here. Tsuki was like 2-3 minutes before Sasuke. They're twin brothers and sisters. Remember, twins don't have to be identical. They're unidentical twins. If you guys didn't know that, you'll learn it once you get older. If you're younger, anyway. Don't want to give a biology lesson now. So Naruto was walking past, and Tsuki could see that he's really sad, but his eyes were glistening. Well, not glistening. They were actually shining. They were reflecting the light from the grocery shop. And Naruto looked in and looked at Tsuki and gave her a painful smile. Tsuki could see that Naruto was hurt. Well, not hurt. Like, he was giving a smile, but it looked like a smile that is given to someone as pity, like before they die or something, and they don't want someone to get hurt. They smile. Yeah, Naruto gave a painful smile, and this is because Naruto could see that Tsuki is with her mother, and Naruto has always been alone, never had a mother or father, and he was heading to his dull apartment where he lived on his own, and he was hungry. And then Mikoto actually called out to Naruto saying, "Hey, you." And Naruto looked back, and he was actually kind of shivering now because the adult called him, and Naruto is not really liked by adults. In fact, he actually gets beat by them, and Naruto shivering and says, "Yeah, did I do something wrong? I'm sorry for smiling at you guys. I don't mean to disrespect you. Please don't hurt me." And Mikoto's like, "Hurt you? Why should I?" And gives Naruto a big smile. And Naruto looks at her and could really feel warmth coming from Mikoto, because remember, Mikoto was really good friends with Kushina. So Mikoto doesn't hate Naruto because she knows that it's not his fault. And Mikoto's like, "Here, this is Tsuki's favorite snack. We have a lot at home and a lot in this bag." And Mikoto says Tsuki is fine that if we give it to him, and Tsuki takes it from her mother and says, "I want to give it." And Naruto takes it with both hands and says, "Thank you very much." And a tear kind of falls from his cheek, and he wipes off, saying, "Thank you. I better get home." And Tsuki's like, "Yeah, you should. It's getting late. Your parents might be getting worried." And Naruto looks down and gives her a painful smile, but as soon as he turns around and runs off, Tsuki could see a tear actually running through, dripping. Yes, a tear dripped off of Naruto as soon as he started running away, and Tsuki didn't know anything about Naruto then. And Mikoto, while they were going, Mikoto's like, "Hey Tsuki, you really shouldn't have mentioned his parents. I know you're young and everything, and you don't know anything about him, but it's something I need to tell you. If you ever meet that kid again, please don't mention his parents. They died in the Ninetales attack 4 years ago." And Tsuki's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And Mikoto explains that Naruto has been living alone for this whole time, and people hate him even for no reason, and Mikoto knows the reason why. And Tsuki, over the next 3 weeks, she's been seeing Naruto around, and she saw Naruto actually getting beaten by kids and elders and always abused. And sometimes she wanted to go up to him, but she's always with her father now because Mikoto was kind of busy at home. And once Tsuki actually was allowed to go and play in the park alone. Sasuke just wanted Itachi's attention. Tsuki was more like carefree. She was more like a Naruto then. And Naruto is more like a shy kid here. He's more of an extrovert because an introvert. Even though Naruto wants to be friends with people, he doesn't want to show it because he feels that it's not like he's an actual introvert. He acts like one because he doesn't want people to get the wrong idea, thinking that he might hurt them, and that's why they run away. That's what he thinks, but it's not true. Naruto's an actual extrovert, and he wants to allow everything, but since the hate of the villagers is so intense that the Naruto has the full nine tails, it kind of scares him from even trying to make a friend, and he's like, no, I don't want to get beaten again. It hurts too much. And Naruto is actually sitting on his little swing. Well, not his. It was the swing in the park, and he was just swinging around. And there were kids in the park, but there was a radius. Not even a radius. There was a full diameter of emptiness. Even the sandbox was fully empty because Naruto was near the sandbox. The swings were near it, and no one was on the other swing. And Tsuki actually came to the park, and her friends actually called her over, saying, "Hey Tsuki," and Tsuki's like, "Oh, hello guys, hello, how you guys doing?" And they're like, "Yeah, do you want to build a sand castle?" And then the other girl's like, "No, look, that demon kid is there," and Tsuki's like, "Demon kid," and basically then out of nowhere, a kid appears with his father, and he's like, "Look, daddy, that demon kid is on the swings. I don't want to get near him." And the father is an actual Jonin, and he's like, "You brat, get off the swing now!" And basically grabs Naruto by the neck, with the back of the neck, and throws him to the sandbox and says, "When my kid wants to get on the swing, you get off here. You understand? You damn demon." And Naruto looks back, saying, I'm sorry. I didn't know. He never even asked me." And he's like, "Are you assuming my son is lying?" And the son was lying. He's like, "Oh, I asked him, but he said no." And yeah, so Naruto's like, "No, he never asked me." And then that's when the father actually got pissed and kicked Naruto in the gut. And Naruto's a 4-year-old. That hurt Naruto badly, and Naruto lost all his. He got the wind kicked out of his lungs, and he was breathing heavily. And as soon as he actually got up, he was actually crying. And Tsuki witnessed all of this, and she was paralyzed in horror because a grown man kicked a toddler basically. And yeah, so Naruto was about to run away until the man actually grabbed him by the neck and was strangling him. But then actually he saw the third Hokage walking past, and the third actually saw that Naruto, well, he didn't notice that Naruto was getting strangled, but then as soon as he turns around, the Jonin lets him go and looks at his son with a smile, and they're like, Naruto maybe is making too many friends. And he walks off, and then as soon as the Hokage goes off, Naruto gets kicked again, because Naruto was actually trying to recover from the strangling, and this time he gets kicked in the face, and his nose was bleeding. And this is what tipped off Naruto, saying, "I don't know why you guys always hate me. I did nothing to you guys. You didn't even ask me to go on the swing." And basically he started crying and ran away. And Tsuki actually was really sad for Naruto, but Tsuki had no power there. So, and she was pissed off at that Jonin. She was actually giving out a bit of bloodlust, but for a 4-year-old, even bloodlust from them wouldn't do anything to a Jonin. And Tsuki knows that Jonins aren't easy to beat, even Genins for her, and she doesn't even have Sharingan activate or awakened yet, so she wouldn't even be able to put a scratch on that Jonin. Anyway, Tsuki says, "Oh, I need to go home early today," to her friends, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And Tsuki actually runs off, and she's actually searching for Naruto. And Naruto actually ran so far that he's in a forest now. He's lost, but he doesn't care at this point. He knows that everyone hates him. Everyone tries to bully him. Everyone lies about him. Everyone tries to hurt him in one way or another. And Naruto is actually lost, and he's crying near a bush, and he actually gets attacked by a massive snake. And the thing that Naruto didn't know, this was a forest with snakes in it, massive, from small to big, and he didn't know that. It's not the forest of death, because the forest of death is actually not allowed to get in. Well, the people are not allowed to go in the forest of death unless they're qualified ninjas or it's the tuning exam, something like that. Anyway, Naruto was in a forest and a massive snake attacked him, and Naruto was ready to die. He wasn't too scared because he's like, I might as well just die. And he first looked surprised, but then as soon as the snake started attacking him, Naruto showed no sign of self-defense, no flinching or anything. He just closed his eyes, ready to die. But then out of nowhere, a a little sword, not an actual sword, a short sword, actually came flying down from a tree. He actually went through the snake's mouth as soon as he opened it, and the snake was now on the ground dead because the sword actually impaled its brain. So out of nowhere, a kid jumps down. Well, not a kid. And Shisui actually appeared and said, and just saying before I get into this, Shisui was actually 2 to 4 years older than Itachi. Let's say 3. So when Itachi was 7 or 8, Shisui was 10 to 11. So Itachi is actually 4 to 5 years older than Sasuke. Let's say 5. And so if Sasuke was 16 in Shippuden when Itachi died at 21, so technically so 5 plus 3, let's say 2, so 7 years difference. So at this time, Naruto, who was 4, Shisui was 11. So Shisui said, "Hey, how are you? Why didn't you run or anything?" And Naruto was like, "Please don't hurt me, please. I didn't mean to." And Shisui looked confused, and he's like, "Hey, kid, I did nothing. I'm not trying to hurt you. In fact, I'm here to help you." And Naruto's like, "Please, don't. If you help me, you'll just get hurt. Every time someone helps me, they always get hurt. So everyone hates me." And Shisui's like, "What's your name, kid?" And Naruto's like, "Naruto Uzumaki. Now, you can go. You don't have to worry about me. I'll be just fine." And Shisui actually says, "Enough," and pulls out the sword from the snake. Actually, waves it out. Well, waves it once for the blood of the snake to be splattered on the floor. Puts his sword back on his back, and then picks up Naruto and says, "Hold on tight, kid." And Naruto holds on tight, real tight. And Shisui's like, "You're strangling me a bit, not too tight." And Naruto's like, "I'm sorry." And Shisui takes him to the Hokage's office. Shisui then asks Hokage-sama, well, Lord Third, and the third Hokage is like, "Oh, Shisui, how are you?" And Shisui's like, "I'm good, but this kid isn't." And then the third sees Naruto, and Naruto was shivering at this point, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I don't want to get hurt again." And the Hokage was like, "But you were fine a minute ago. What do you mean, Naruto?" And Naruto's like, "Oh, that, I was," and basically Shisui is like, "Hey kid, tell me what really happened. Why were you in the forest? Why didn't you flinch when the snake was about to kill you? Why were you ready to die?" And Naruto explains everything, and the Hokage was pissed. He was beyond pissed. He was royally pissed. He's like, a Jonin attacking a 4-year-old over a swing. Naruto wasn't occupying both of them, was he? He wasn't. He couldn't have. And the Hokage actually summoned the man, and the man actually tried to defend himself by saying, "Oh, Naruto said no." And then the Hokage's like, "Naruto was occupied one swing. How's your kid not going, not using the other one, huh?" And the man's like, "I'm sorry, Lord Third." And the third Hokage is like, "There's no sorry. A Jonin should know better. You already know, I've already explained to you, Naruto's a hero. He saved the village. He's the one containing that. And then he stops and says, "You already know the facts. So why? You know what would happen if Naruto died, right? You're a Jonin. You could have killed him easily." And Shisu actually comes in and says, "Exactly, sir. Naruto is just a kid." And then he apologizes to Naruto, and the third Hokage just says, "Get out of my sight. You disgust me. Make me sick. You're lucky I didn't take your ninja license away for this." And the guy walks off, and he's kind of pissed off at Naruto because Naruto told him off, but it's not true. Didn't do anything there, and Naruto's like, "You, you shouldn't have done this. He did nothing wrong." And then the Hokage is like, he was in the wrong, Naruto. Don't worry. You were in the right. You did nothing wrong. And Naruto's like, "No, but shouting at him wasn't nice." And Chisu's like, "You don't understand, Naruto. But you will when you're older." And then, basically, a few hours pass. Naruto's actually at home now, resting. And just saying, Kurama inside was like, "Damn, this kid's going through hell, you know." And remember, this is the full Naruto, so he has both both, Naruto side and Minato side. So the kind one is with the evil one at the same time. So it's kind of a split personality. He's like, "I feel bad, but at the same time, I'm amused by this kid getting hurt." And yeah, so it's kind of bipolar. He has two personalities. But anyways, let's not go into that. Kurama doesn't matter for now. While Naruto was at home resting, he was actually about to go sleep at 9. Not even at 9, it's like 7. But remember, this is around December. No, sorry, this is around January. So it gets pretty dark at around 7. But it's not sleeping time, not even for a kid like Naruto. I know maybe it is for some people, but for me it definitely wasn't. Anyway, I don't remember what I did when I was 4, but when I was 6, I definitely did not go to sleep at 7 p.m. I definitely went around 10 to 11. Anyway, I'm not trying to brag or anything. Sleep is important, guys. Always get your sleep. Anyway, while that was happening, I said that like 3 times and I went off track again 4 times. Anyway, while that was happening, Tsuki actually went home all saddened and that she couldn't find Naruto, a kid who she actually genuinely had a liking towards because she found him cute. Anyway, she goes home and Mikoto's like, "I'm sorry, Tsuki, I couldn't take you to the park today." And Tsuki's like, "I went alone, it's fine." And then Mikoto's like, "Oh really? Then would you mind telling me how did it go?" And then Tsuki actually pulled Mikoto to her side because she doesn't want her father to hear, and she's like, "Could you? I'll tell you in the bathtub. Could you scrub my back today?" And Mikoto's like, "Of course, anything for my daughter." Anyway, so they go in the bath. So while they're having a bath, Tsuki actually asks, "Why does everyone hate that blonde kid?" And she doesn't know his name yet. And Mikoto's like, "Oh, you mean Naruto?" And Tsuki's like, "Oh, his name is Naruto?" And Mikoto's like, "Yes, he's Naruto Uzumaki. In fact, he's someone that I should be close to, but his mother died, so I never really got to contact him afterwards." Anyway, then Mikoto actually says, "If I tell you this, Tsuki, will you keep it a secret?" And Tsuki's like, "Huh? Secret? Is this important?" And Mikoto's like, I'm only telling you because I trust you, okay? Please don't tell anyone that I told you. And don't mention it to Naruto as well." And she explains that Naruto's who Naruto really is. The Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, when he was born, the fourth Hokage actually sealed the Nine Tails inside of him, and he was just literally a newborn, so he knew nothing about this, and that's why people hate Naruto, and they don't know how much Naruto did for the village. If he wasn't there on that night, the Nine Tails would have destroyed the village after the four fools got stabbed, because yeah, they know the Mikoto knows what really happened anyway, so she doesn't tell him about the fourth Hokage being Naruto's father anyway. So anywho, Tsuki actually sheds a few tears, saying it's so sad that Naruto has to go through this all by himself, and Mikoto's like, and then she's like, all the kids hate him as well, and I don't know what to do, and Mikoto's like, Tsuki, follow what your heart says. Don't follow others. You'll just be like them if you do. Be yourself. If you want to be friends with Naruto tomorrow, go ahead and be his friend. If you don't want to, it's fine as well. I'm not sure what you want to do. And Tsuki's like, I want to be his friend, but I don't know if you'll like me. And Mikoto's like, you're the cutest girl ever. Of course you'll like you. And anyway, the next day, Naruto's actually kind of scared to go out again, but he's hungry. He hasn't ate, and he has enough to buy that snack that that girl actually gave him a few weeks ago, because he actually found it really nice. So he went to the shops, and Tsuki was actually there because she wanted as well. And they actually bump into each other while trying to get the last one. And Tsuki's like, oh, it's you. And Naruto's like, oh, sorry, you can have it. I'll buy something else. And that snack was pretty cheap. Naruto had nothing else to buy because he didn't have enough money for anything else. And Tsuki's like, no, it's fine, you can have it. Naruto's like, no, it's fine. And walks out the store, heads back home. While he's heading back to home, Tsuki actually bought it and ran behind him and actually grabbed his arm and took him to a secret, well, not a secret place, it was just a little place where she found, and she actually went here with Naruto and said, here, let's share it then. And Naruto's like, are you sure? And Tsuki's like, yeah, I mean, you did nothing wrong to me. And Naruto started eating it like he hadn't eaten anything in days, and to be honest, he didn't in days. Only had milk and water for the past 3 days, because he didn't have enough money, since the landlord of his home actually takes more than what he should for the apartment, even though the Hokage gives him just enough, well, enough for the apartment and enough for food for a month. But of course the landlord actually increased it without telling the Hokage for Naruto. Naruto was too naive to actually understand, and so um, Naruto and Tsuki actually become friends, and Tsuki is like, hey Naruto, do you want to play with me? And Naruto's like, are you sure? People might think that I'll hurt you, and they might start hating you too. And Tsuki's like, I don't care about what the people think. You didn't do anything wrong. In fact, you're a kind person. You always try your best. I've seen you. And basically, Tsuki was stalking Naruto for the past few weeks, and Naruto's like, oh, thank you. And so Tsuki and Naruto actually go out to the park. No one was really there at that time. It was pretty early in the morning, around 10 a.m. and kids don't come out at this time. It's pretty cold as well. Naruto's shirt, well, Naruto wasn't really wearing a jumper. He was wearing a little jacket, but it was actually pretty ripped because Naruto couldn't afford new clothes, and he had that for quite a long time. It didn't really fit him. It was a bit tight on him, and it was ripped. And Tsuki had a new one, and Naruto's like, oh, I wish I could have one too, but it is what it is. I mean, it's just how I will be living for the rest of my life, right? And then Tsuki actually gives her scarf to Naruto, saying, it's gonna get cold, I have a jacket, you can use this. And Tsuki's like the man in this relationship right now. And they use the swings for a while, they play with the sand, and then it actually starts snowing again. Naruto was like, oh, here, I think you should go home. I'll go home too. And Tsuki's like, no, are you sure? Like, it's you never know, you might get cold. And Naruto's like, you're more important than me. Anyway, bye, and runs off. And Tsuki's like, more important? What does he mean? And what Naruto means is that he lost all self-esteem after a few years of abusement. He lost all self-esteem, and he thinks he's worthless. So he thinks he's not important to anyone, and the only reason he's alive is just because the world hates him. Well, he knows that Tsuki is an actual Uchiha because of the emblem she had on the scarf, and he's like, you're more important than me because the Uchiha, because Naruto, Naruto is actually pretty book smart. He has no friends, so he spends a few of his quite a bit of time just by himself reading about the village because he finds it intriguing. So Naruto knows quite a bit about the Uchiha clan, about its history, that it was bad but now it's good, and they're really good for the village, and they produce amazing ninjas. And Naruto's like, I don't deserve to be friends with her. And for the next 2-3 weeks, Naruto tries to avoid Tsuki, and Tsuki's like, does he not like me? And Tsuki actually one day intercepted Naruto from avoiding him, because he always takes the same routes, because Tsuki was dumb enough to take the same routes over and over again as well, and this time intercepted him. And Tsuki actually said, why are you avoiding me? And Naruto's like, I don't want people to hate you. It's not that it's not that I don't like you. In fact, you're really cute and everything, but I don't think I deserve to be your friend. And Tsuki's like, everyone deserves a friend, and it's not about me wanting to be your friend. It's about if you want to be my friend. If you don't, please tell me now. And Naruto's like, I don't think I should be a friend with an Uchiha. You're privileged by the village. Someone like me doesn't deserve something like that. And Tsuki actually hugs Naruto and said, there's no need to be afraid. We can be friends. And just saying, Sasuke was just out and about, just doing his thing around the village, because why not? And he was mostly trying to get Itachi's attention, just like I said at the beginning. This is more about backstory. But then, now we get into the good part. So, Naruto and Tsuki have been friends for 2 years now. They're both 6, and they've been developing feelings for each other, but it's always one-sided. And Naruto only has one friend right now, which is Tsuki. And Mikoto actually has seen them around playing together, and she's really happy that Naruto got a friend, and it's her own daughter. And she's happy that her own daughter actually likes Naruto, because Mikoto really didn't mind Naruto either. In fact, she was actually really good friends with Kushina, and she liked Kushina. So if Kushina saw her own son was getting treated like this, she would personally strangle each one of the villagers. So, and she's like, luckily Kushina isn't here. Well, says it in a joking way. For Naruto, it's unfortunate, but you know what I mean. So one day, just saying, Naruto still gets abused quite a bit. In fact, he's developing a depression, but of course, over time he's becoming more apathetic and apathetic. But whenever it comes to Tsuki, he completely forgets about everything, and he's like, all that matters is me being with Tsuki. Anyway, one night Naruto was actually walking home after a good beating, because no one actually tries to attack Naruto when Tsuki's around, because Tsuki's an actual prodigy. She knows the fireball jutsu already, and she already awakened the one Tomoe Sharingan just by training with the mother anyway. So, of course, Sasuke didn't know about this, but, Sasuke knew about the fireball jutsu, not about the Sharingan. No one knows about the Sharingan, but the fireball jutsu is something that he's training for as well. And one night, Tsuki actually went home early that day, and she's like, maybe not still around. It's summer after all. Let me see if I can find him. And Mikoto allowed it because she trusts Tsuki enough, and she knows why Tsuki's going, because Mikoto could tell Tsuki has a crush on Naruto anyway, so she's a young love anyway. So let me get back to cooking. It was like around 9 p.m. and Tsuki actually saw Naruto, and she wanted to sneak up on him, but then she saw Naruto with a sad look. The the glowing eyes that she always sees with Naruto are dull now, and Naruto's looking up in the sky, smiling. Well, not apathetically, a painful smile, just like the smile he gave her 2 years ago when they first actually met each other. And out of nowhere, he starts crying. Well, those tears weren't from sadness; they were just his body doing on his own. He couldn't feel anything at this point. He's too depressed and apathetic, and the only feeling he felt was love for Tsuki. So that's why he actually kept on living, or he would have committed suicide long time ago. And guys, I always say this whenever I mention this word: never ever think of it. If you're depressed, please, you can even ask me for help, bro. Like, you guys, if you never think of it, like, don't never let that come into your mind. It's just immoral, not moral. It's immoral. It's something humans shouldn't do. Like, we have been granted life for a reason, so us ending ourselves, it really isn't the thing, bro. Like, if you guys are even thinking of it, just please get some help, or even come to me. Even I will help. Like, I would take time out of my day just to help you guys. It's fine. If you need a friend, if you need someone to talk to, you have your parents, you have your friends, you have your siblings. If you're your an only child, you have your friends, your parents. If you need to talk about anything, and I know how it can feel. Parents aren't the best to talk about these kind of things, especially if it's about stress, because if your parents are like mine, it's not the best thing. But if your parents are kind of intellectual, okay, maybe then. Anyway, let's not get too much into that, because I don't want to get demonetized either. But guys, don't think about it. That if you are thinking about it, never, just stop. You can get help. Anyway, Naruto was actually thinking of suicide at this point, because he felt like Tsuki was only doing it out of pity, and he was crying, and Tsuki was like, did I make him sad by leaving? And then she actually notices Naruto. He actually had his clothes were ripped now, and before they were actually they were actually new clothes that Naruto was saving up for, and now they're ripped. And then she activates her Sharingan to look closer, because she was pretty far, and she sees Naruto actually having a cut on his cheek, a bruise on his arm, a cut on his leg that she couldn't notice from far away. And she's like, what happened? And Naruto was like actually kind of bleeding as well. So then, out of nowhere, a black figure appeared behind Naruto, and Tsuki's like, huh, who is he? And then Naruto actually looked back. He wasn't scared or anything. He's like, huh, who is this now? And he looks back, and then the man pats him on the head and says, hey kid, why are you crying now? And Naruto's like, there's no need to tell you, no one cares. And then Obito is like, yes, this is Obito. He's like, is it now? Then why are you here? You should go. Why are you here? Are you trying to get noticed? And Naruto's like, no, because no one cares about me. Even if they see me dying, they wouldn't do anything. There's no need of living anymore. And then Obito's like, how about, and he's like, so you believe there's no purpose in life, is there? And Naruto's like, well, yeah, I mean, have you seen me? Everyone hates me. I did nothing wrong, and they just want to kill me. I hate them. I don't know what to do anymore. And then the masked man, Obito says, how about I give you a purpose in life? And Naruto is kind of gullible here, because his mindset is broken as hell. It's gone. His mindset is not in a good position, and Tsuki was completely paralyzed because she was scared of the man. She was actually literally truly scared. She was so scared she was paralyzed on the spot. And Naruto actually accepts by taking his hand, and the man's like, "You made a good choice, Naruto Uzumaki." And he's like, "How'd you know my name?" And the masked man's like, "There's no need to tell you that. I know my things." And Naruto's like, "Alright then." And then they whoop away. And this is when Tsuki realizes that Naruto's gone. He's gone. First she wipes her eyes and thinks that it's just her hallucinating. So what she does is that she actually slaps herself once, twice, 3 times, and she's like, "Let me check Naruto's home." And she was smiling because she thought she was just dreaming. She was giving herself full soap. She ran to Naruto's house as fast as possible. She was panting. She looks up. Naruto's lights are closed, are turned off. She goes up, knocks on Naruto's door. 10 minutes later, no one opens. Then she starts crying crying out Naruto's name, and then a neighbor opens and says, "That kid hasn't returned home since since when he went out. Don't know where he is, boss. Shuts it now." Because the neighbor was trying to sleep, and then she shuts the door so loudly that Tsuki kind of gets startled, and she goes to the Hokage now. She's scared. She's worried, and Mikoto is kind of worried at the same time because she's gone out to Tsuki is gone out and she still hasn't returned. It's been quite a while now. It's been around half an hour, and it's getting pretty dark because it is still February now, and she's really she's really worried about her now, and she actually starts searching. Even Fugaku decides to help her. They both start calling out for Tsuki's name, even Sasuke, and then Mikoto's like, "Wait, I think I know where she is. It's fine, you guys go back home. Wait for me there." And Fugaku's like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then Fugaku's like, "I trust you, Sasuke, let's go." And Sasuke's like, "Yes, father." And they go back home, and Mikoto's like, maybe she's at Naruto's place, right? And she goes there until she sees Tsuki running out, and Tsuki ran out as fast as possible, and she's running towards the Hokage Tower, and Mikoto catches up to Tsuki way faster than Tsuki could even walk 3 meters, and she's like, "Tsuki, where you going? What happened? Did Naruto do anything to you?" And she's like, "Someone took Naruto. I was watching and they just disappeared in thin air." And just saying, Tsuki did see a red eye through the mask, and she's like, "Wait, what?" And Mikoto's like, "Calm down, Tsuki. Calm down. Tell me what happened in every single detail you can." Tsuki explains, and Mikoto is actually scared now, because a man to get into the Leaf Village without setting off the alarms is nothing to be dealt lightly with, because the Leaf's security is pretty tight, especially after the Ninetales attack. And it was a masked man, and she didn't know who she was. And Tsuki explained that the masked man, before disappearing, actually gave off a glow from his eye, and it was red. And the only red eye she knows about is the Sharingan. So now Mikoto's worried too, because Naruto is the Ninetales Jinchuriki, the only thing she has left of a friend, and the legacy of the fourth Hokage. Naruto's literally the legacy of the fourth, and she was worried. So they both run to the Hokage, and Mikoto actually takes Tsuki on her arms, because Tsuki was really tired at this point. And Mikoto's like, "Tsuki, calm down. I know you're sad, but we can find Naruto." And Tsuki is crying her eyes out right now. She's never felt such sadness in her ever, and she thought Naruto was her friend. It's not that she hates Naruto, but she hates herself for letting this happen, because she was just watching. She was amused by what was happening. She was curious, so she wanted to see what would happen. But as it turns out, she was in the wrong. What happened was something worse than what she was expecting. She was not expecting someone to take her loved one, her crush, her friend. To be honest, the only friend she had remaining, because people hated her. Well, started to make rumors about her, about she being a demon as well before hanging out with one. And she's like, Naruto, and why'd you leave? While Mikoto actually arrived at the Hokage's office, and the reception is like, "Oh, hello, Miss Mikoto Uchiha. Is there anything I can help you with?" And Mikoto's like, "I need to see the Hokage right now." And then she's like, "The Hokage right now is busy," and she's like, "There's no time for this." And the reception is like, "Excuse me, the Hokage is taking a break. He has been working the whole day. He wants you should allow him to take a rest." And then basically Mikoto blitzes past it, past the all the receptionists. She's like, "Shut up! This is more important than his break." And she's like, "How disrespectful over the Hokage!" And she just lets her go. And then she actually barges in while the Hokage was actually smoking his pipe. And she's like, "Lord Third, there is something urgent that just happened." And basically, the Hokage is like, the Hokage hasn't seen anyone this worried, holding their kid. And the kid was crying. Tsuki was crying, and she's never seen Mikoto this hyperventilated. Well, worried. And Mikoto Mikoto tells Tsuki to explain. Tsuki says it in broken words, while crying, and then basically Mikoto explains properly, because she wanted Tsuki to say everything in case she missed anything. And now that she knows properly that she didn't miss anything, she explained it properly. And the Hokage is like, wait, you're saying Naruto got kidnapped? And so Mikoto's like, according to Tsuki, Naruto was crying on the bench. He was bleeding, his new clothes were ripped, and he had bruises, and he was crying, looking up in the sky. But then a masked man appeared and took him away, and apparently was patting him in the head and Lao his hand, and Naruto took it, and then they disappeared. And basically then Mikoto's like, one more thing. Before the masked man completely disappeared in thin air, there was something that glowed in his eye. It was the little hole that was the only hole that was in the mask. It was on his right eye, and he glowed red. And according to, from my sources, nothing's red. There's no red eye except for the Sharingan. And the Hokage is like, summoned all of his Anbus, all the ninjas in the village, all the Jonin, or even Chunins. They all got summoned because this was the most urgent thing ever. After the war and the Ninetales attack, even Danzo was like, what's going on now? Because Hiruzen actually summoned the Root Anbu as well, and he's like, Naruto Uzumaki, the Ninetales Jinchuriki, has been kidnapped. We have to find him. Someone took him. And Danzo's like, and you took that long to find out? What happened? And basically, Hiruzen explains while everyone's searching, and Danzo's like, we cannot allow this to happen. You know how important the Ninetales is, right? You know how important it is to the village. The Ninetales is the strongest weapon we have. If villagers outside the Land of Fire find out that the Leaf has lost their strongest weapon, we'll be attacked, right, Hiruzen? And Hiruzen's like, I believe I know that already. That's why I summoned all of them. And Danzo's like, didn't you say you left some Anbus watching for him? And Hiruzen's like, yeah, exactly, but those Anbu just didn't come as well. And just saying, Obito took care of them. They're actually dead now. Obito killed them without them even noticing. And the Anbus, one of the Anbu actually came back to the third Hokage saying that we have found 2 bodies, Lord Third. the two Anbus that were keeping an eye on Naruto, and the Hokage now knew that if two Anbu were taken out without Naruto even noticing, since there was no fight, that man must have been a pretty strong stealth, pretty skilled stealth ninja for an Anbu not to notice and get killed with a one shot to the back of the neck. And just saying, there were two their necks actually got sliced, and there were no signs of them actually being in a fight. Everything was intact except for their neck. So they now know that there was no fighting. There was just two murders without the two victims even realizing it. So now here is a day has passed, and the village is in panic mode. Well, most of the ninjas are in panic mode because Naruto has disappeared, and it's in vain. Just saying, everything is in vain. There's no need. There's no point, because it was the Kamui. You cannot find the Akatsuki base because it's not around the village, and the ninjas, the Anbus did search outside the village as well. It was on the same night that they actually started going outside as well. And even Kakashi joined in because Kakashi knows about Naruto being the fourth son, and he's like, God damn it, it's just I was there. And he's actually really worried about Naruto because like he feels guilty again, because not only did he let his best friend die, not only did he let his best friend's crush die, not only did he let his master die without him even being able to do anything, but now even his son. Nah, fam, he's not gonna allow that. And he's searching, and until a full year has passed. The Leaf has now given up on Naruto. The word about Naruto disappearing hasn't spread outside the Leaf village, and no one really found out. And also, Tsuki is the one who got affected the most. Tsuki, not only did she lose her loved one, her crush, her friend, but it was right in front of her eyes. She lost him right in front of her eyes, which made Tsuki already create her ninja way. Never to allow anything to happen in front of her eyes. Never to allow a friend to, never let go of a friend, because it's all because of her. If only she didn't try to sneak up on Naruto. If only she just ran up to him straight away, the masked man maybe wouldn't have got to Naruto. And Tsuki has been training with Fugaku. Even Shisui has decided to train Tsuki. Even Mikoto trained Tsuki. And Tsuki trained so hard, even harder than Sasuke. Sasuke has the 2 Tomoe Sharingan. Tsuki has already unlocked the 3 Tomoe, and she's actually already tuning level. And she didn't even start she knows the Shadow Clone Jutsu. The Shadow Clone Jutsu. Wait, I always say Kakabushi no Jutsu anyway. Mochi Shadow Clone Jutsu. She knows that. And while that was happening, now we cover Naruto. Naruto, on that night, he has been taken to the Akatsuki hideout. Naruto is greeted by three other people. Well, I'll say only 2. Nagato, he was in the middle of making the paints. So the 6 paths of paints. So Nagato, well, he wasn't fully pale yet. He was normal skin color now. And Nagato has appeared with Conan. Nagato could tell Naruto. Nagato was told Naruto's name, Naruto Uzumaki. And Nagato's like, interesting, an Uzumaki. So you are the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, right? And Naruto's like, wait, what? And they explain to him, and Naruto understands why everyone hates him, and he's saddened, but then Conan's like, Conan consoles him by patting him on the head, saying, it's fine, Naruto. We'll train you to become stronger. You'll help us in our mission, right? For world peace. Correct? And Naruto's like, world peace? And Conan says, if you help us, no other kid will have to go through anything you had to go, right? You don't want other people to have that happen to them, right? And Naruto's like, no, it shouldn't happen to others. If it happened to me, it shouldn't happen to others though. And Naruto accepts stuff of being trained. Now, just saying, there are only 3 members for now. Naruto actually gets trained by Nagato and Conan and Obito. Obito teaches Naruto in fire release jutsus, because Naruto actually has all 5 chakra natures already now, because of his intense training. 20 hours a day. 14 hours of training, 2 hours of resting. Well, his resting time is sleeping time. 6 hours of sleep, 14 hours of work, and 4 hours to himself. And of course, eating time, of course, in those 4 hours, because they're split up in between his training. So if it's 14 hours, so first 2 hours, then a break, then the next 4 hours, then a break. Whatever, you get the gesture of it. So Naruto actually trains hard each day, and a year has passed, and Naruto is missing Tsuki more than anything. His heart has a hole in it. It's not even the hatred, it's nothing towards the villagers, because he's apathetic. The only feeling he has is remorse for leaving Tsuki behind. And Tsuki has remorse for letting Naruto leave. And yeah, Naruto, let's give Naruto a moveset. Naruto has all 5 chakra natures. He has the Shadow Clone Jutsu. He has the Water Shockwave, the Lightning Release, the Lightning Stream. He's actually developed a new lightning technique. It's like the Chidori, just a bit weaker. It's actually stronger since Naruto has more chakra than Kakashi and can put more. And his one is called Purple Lightning. I know I should have gave him a different color, but I just like the Purple Lightning. Naruto has Purple Lightning. Also, he has the Lightning Stream, Lightning Clone, Water Clone, the Wind, Wind Gale Palm, also the Wind Tornado, the Wind Hurricane, and also he has the Fireball Jutsu, the Great Fireball, the Majestic Destroyer Flame, because Obito knew it. Also, he knows Naruto learns the fire style, bomb blast dance, which is only meant to be used with the Kamui because of the spiraling technique. Well, the spiraling effect that the Kamui uses, applies to the air. But Naruto is actually, instead of doing that, he learned how to combine the wind and use it with the wind, so you can use the wind release. And a year has just passed. Also, Naruto has the Mud Wall, the Earth Wall, the Great Earth Wall, the the Earth Dome, the Earthquake Jutsu, also the the Earth Shattering Jutsu, which shatters the Earth under an enemy, but it's the radius. I mean the area of effect isn't too big, so he has to be kinda close. But with the Earthquake Jutsu, he can be at anywhere, and he can use it on water as well, as long as there's earth underneath, which there is, of course. Anyway, so Naruto's pretty strong, and he's actually already high tier tuning level, low tier, low tier Jonin level. Yeah, low tier Jonin level and high tier tuning level. And Tsuki's actually high tier tuning level. She's no low tier Jonin level, just high tier tuning level. Even a low tier tuning level can destroy a high tier tuning level, but ninja. But of course, Naruto is a high tier tuning level slash a low tier Jonin. If he had a bit more experience, he'd be Jonin level. And there's still 1 year I have to cover before the Uchiha Massacre, which I will cover next part. It is only 1 a.m? Damn. Anyway, it's 1 a.m. and I do wanna edit this video and get some rest. And tomorrow morning I will be uploading this video. You better do good, because I spent a long ass time rewriting the whole script, and I believe it's a way better script than my other one. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed it. Please subscribe to Ratreet. Please subscribe to Miniman123. Please subscribe to me. Let's get to 4K subscribers before the end of August. Also, go follow Shakiro on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Like, share, and subscribe. And to all my Weeb Nightlings, a message has to be passed through. I love you all. Thank you for all the support. The only reason I keep going at YouTube is not for the money. It's mostly because of, well, the money is just a bit more of a reward, and to invest in my, mostly I'm probably just going to save up, invest in my studies, but I'm going to invest on YouTube as well. So on equipment for YouTube, like a way better mic, a way better device to edit on, a better editing software and everything. And that's just what I'm going to use the money for. But other than that, I just love all your supports. Your support is what keeps me motivated, and I just keep going. Like, if you guys didn't know, I did my first ever video. It might have 1K views right now, but in the first month, it got around like 60 views, and I was really demoralized, and I just couldn't, I didn't get too much support. I got like 1 or 2 comments, and I was really kind of sad about it, because I tried hard, but it wasn't the best. I know compared to now, it was nothing. But then a month later, I'm like, maybe I'll give it another shot. And now another nearly 2 months later, look where we are. It's all thanks to you guys. We'll be doing a giveaway at 4K subscribers. Yes, I will be doing a giveaway. Wait, should I do a 4K or 5K? I will be doing a special, a little reward for you guys. Not sure if it will be money. Not sure if it will be shout outs. Not sure what you guys would like. But maybe not 4K, 5K. Because last time I did try to do a giveaway, it didn't really go too well. But I'll wait till 5K, and I'll do a pretty big event just for you guys. There are a lot of things I'm planning on doing over the summer. Also, I will be taking a few days off in the summer as well. I know I said I will keep uploading 2 videos a day, but I will be studying 6 hours a day at the same time, because I need to improve on my, like today I had my parents meeting. It went really well, but I want to improve way more. As my teacher said, there is so much more I can improve on, and I do want to get better at school, and I want to get good grades anyways. I don't want to blab on about my life too much. I don't know if you guys are interested or not. Anyways, this was the King of Weebs there. And stay safe, guys. I love you all. And peace.